Welcome back to another episode of Dean and Chained. I'm your host, E, aka Venom, aka Mr. Tell It Like It Is. As per usual on the show, we discuss the battles of mating from a male perspective. And today's topic of discussion is: do modern women suffer from high self-esteem? Uh, and and I'll put this topic I put this topic on my Insta the other day, and I got a lot of backlash from it, to be honest with you. um you know, I had female acquaintances and family members and friends and whatever it is, relatives. They were coming at me, you know what I mean, on the gram, like, oh, what are you saying about women? And everyone got triggered. And I was like, look, first off, that's just a title, okay? First off, that's just a title. That's just a generic question. And if you're reading too much into it, that's your fault. Because I did say I was going to dissect that particular question today as to why, me personally, based on research and behavior pattern and tendencies of modern women, I think, yeah, they do suffer from high self esteem. And I'm going to go into details in that. But before I do that, I want to uh, just show my new read. I highly recommend this book for people that are out there that are looking for marriage and they're looking for a serious relationship. I would highly recommend this before you tie the knot. So you you go through this, you read it if it's on a religious purpose, if you so you need to know why you want to get married, essentially. So go through this book, give it to your partner so she can read it as well, and so you can both understand and be level-headed as to why you are engaging, why you are embarking on that journey, essentially. Right. So without further ado, let's get into this, right? Okay. So why do oh my god, I forgot to start my timer on my this thing. How's that called? The snapping thing. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video. I think the audio will keep going for some time. I'm going to pause the video and then restart it. I think this audio is gonna have to keep playing. Okay. Right. Okay. So that's good. So we're back now. The timer is set. Let's get into this. Okay. So first things first, I want to highlight that the whole idea behind this podcast is not to um, incite men in saying that, oh, do you know what I mean? Hate on the modern woman, don't wife them, don't do this, don't do that. We're just saying, we're just giving out tips for men to know how to pick from the crowd of modern women that expect traditional men, but they want to act recklessly the way they act, and they expect the man to be forbearing with their childish and foolish behavior, right? So that's plainly what we do here. We just try to orient it, because I myself personally, I'm a I'm a pro advocate. I would have to say I'm an advocate for marriage, family values, all of that, because I believe that's how you, um, one, leave a legacy, two, protect your lineage, protect your wealth, and that's essentially the purpose of life. Which is, yes, you live, you die, and you need to leave something behind and benefit society at large with your kids, with how you brought them up, and everything else, and making sure that their impact on on society as a whole. Right. So before I go into the topic, one thing as well I wanted to highlight, because um, people seem to think that on the panel or on the podcast, on the show, we we say men are superior than women, or men are this, men are that, and that's often the assumption when it comes to a woman that's poisoned, that has her mindset poisoned by the feminist agenda. Is that, no, we're not saying men being different to women means men are better than women. No, that's not what we're saying at all. We're saying, yes, men do have some qualities that women lack, and women do have some qualities that men lack as well. And they both complement each other as God intended. And if a woman wants to advocate and think, oh, yeah, we don't need men, la di la di da, take it up with your creator, okay? Because as far as I know, as far as far as I know, God intended for man and um, man and woman to complement each other for one, because everything was created in pairs. As everyone knows, the story of the ark, where Noah took a pair of each creation on the ark, and then when stuff happened after the storm or tsunami, everyone disembarked from the ark and the planet was repopulated, right? So that's that. Okay, that's a bit of religious religious studies there for you guys. But do you know what I mean? Some women might not be God fearing nowadays. Some some might be, and some might listen and take heed and follow the advice. But again, yes, women, you do need men. And one also very crucial reason why you do need men is because um, when you have kids, okay, when you have kids, if you don't, and I'll repeat this, if you think you're going to raise your child by yourself and do it by yourself, you are being oppressive to that child. You are oppressing that child from birth. And some women are terrible, terrible, toxic mothers. And I have to say this. Some women are terrible toxic mothers, and they will poison the mind of the child about their fathers. Your father is trash, your father is this, and you see some people, it's ridiculous, right? You see some people, they're 36, they've never spoken to their father, they have daddy issues because of their toxic moms. You see some men that are husbands to their mothers because they never had a father in the house. They don't have a life. They're just busy focusing on their mom. And even when they have a girl, they want to treat that girl as their mother, right? They want that girl to treat them like their mothers would. Okay, and this is very messed up. And then you have the sister mothers or the daughter mothers relationship, where the the mother poisons the daughter to think that um to hate all men, for example, right? She poisons the daughter to hate all men. All men are terrible, they're this, they're that, they're liars, due to her broken experiences, and she wants to live through her daughter, right? She wants to live through her daughter, and then she poisons her daughter, and her daughter is unable to maintain a relationship, right? So those are some of the things. And women, about the children, okay? Again, about the children, do not be oppressive to your unborn or newborn baby. The basic requirement for that child, as I touched on last week's episode, the basic requirement for that child is that he grows up with two parents for better cognitive development and better socio-economic outcome, because we know one income I'm sorry, we know two income is better than one. All right, we know two income is better than one, and that child needs an education. Okay, that child needs an education. He needs to have a family support system from both sides of his family. He needs to be acquainted with it, because you have certain situations where people completely alienate their children. Well, I wouldn't say people, where women completely alienate their children and they poison their mind that your father was rubbish. And then you have certain the kids that come out of this type of single mother household. Sometimes they tend to go out there and mate maybe with their brothers, and they don't know that, oh snap, that's my brother I'm in a relationship with, or that's my sister I'm in a relationship with, due to the fact that the parents due to the fact that the mother alienated the child from their family, right? So women, please, I know men have civilized the world to an extent where you can sit back and have this sort of conversations where you think, oh no, I don't need a man. I don't, a man don't doesn't deserve me. Anything a man can do, I can do. These narratives and this sort of assumptions are completely false. This is something you're being lied to. Okay. And I could go into some of the reasons why, because you're the biggest consumers out there in the marketplace. Your purchase power is absolutely bonkers, right? Your purchase power is absolutely bonkers, and the more single you are, the more impulsive you are with your purchases, and there is an incentive to keeping you single from this from the big conglomerates, from the government, the companies. There is an incentive to keeping you single, right? And again, you might think, I don't need a man and all of that jazz. Yeah, I don't need a man, I don't need this, I don't need that. That might be cool, but the government on which you're relying is a government that's built by men. The income tax, sorry, what am I saying? The income tax, the universal credit, the child tax benefits, all of these are modern conventions that were put in place to support women. Okay, and this were put in place by men. Men civilized the world enough where you think, this, you can casually go around saying these things, but no, you can't, right? And you have certain women that would say, just going back on the religious point, they would say, oh, do you know what? I'm an atheist, because you find a lot of this on people's dating profiles: agnostic, atheist, da 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 da, don't believe in God. I want to highlight something very important that you don't get. Okay, religion actually benefits women a lot. It actually benefits women a lot. Primary reason why this benefits women a lot is because men are capable of far more carnage and savagery than you see today. The religion has helped to tame men. Religion has helped to tame men so there can be like some form of orderly conduct among men. Because if there was none of that, religion, there would probably not be a civilization. Men would just go in about being conquerors. Men would just go about being conquerors, and it will be the survival of the fittest. Where, I mean, people have seen history. Again, I'll mention Genghis Khan and Alexander the Great, or the Vikings of Norway, etc. They would just roll up on boats and they would terrorize the whole town. And once they mash up the whole town, they would usually take women as war, how do you call that? War trophies or war bounty or booty, right? Women would generally be trophies. So the warring tribes will slide in and they will massacre everyone except for the women, and the women will be war trophies. So for any woman that's out there saying religion is a social contract put by men in order to suppress women's sexuality, my oh God, I'm only laugh, right? You are completely wrong. Okay? You are completely wrong if that is your outlook on religion. Religion is actually suppressing men. Religion actually suppresses men. And that's how um those are some of the foundations that led to men being civilized, etc., etc. And we know as well that most of the inventors are men. The critical thinkers are men. So yes, in today's day and age, the world is modernized. It's been made easy for women, and etc., etc. But yet we still hear complaints. But do not trash and tarnish a man's image. do not belittle a man's image, because the society in which you live in, although you despise or insult patriarchy without the slightest level of understanding, this actually this the system is actually in place to benefit you. Because we'll take the case of Sarah Everhard, right? With where the police system failed her, and the all the atrocities that happened with the policeman who raped her and murdered her. R.I.P. to her, right? This is a tragedy, right? This was a tragedy, okay? This was a tragedy. But that is a vivid example of what can happen. That is a vivid example of what can happen without the protection of other men. And this is the police system. So for a woman to sit back in her cozy or lufty, cozy and comfy chair and say, "Oh yeah, I don't need a man," and all of that jazz. Whatever a man can do, I can do. If you're on benefit, first of all, you're getting money from men that are working. Okay, you're getting money from men and women that are working. So you should be getting off your lazy ass and actually go and do something for yourself. That's one particular reason. But anyway, I don't want to digress too much and go off topic, because I kind of went off track there. So let's roll back into this, right? Which is why modern women are suffer from high self-esteem. So in this day and age, you have like